Welcome into the cardboard. We are continuing reveals for the Photon HYPERNOVA set. Brand new cards here. This one is no exception. Really cool generic spell card. Searches half the cards in the entire game. It's insane. Let's get into it. Here we go. This is Triple Tactic. As you can see, here's the fan from Triple Tactic's talent. And here's a samurai guy who might also be from Rivalry of Warlords. Not sure, but he looks similar to me. Or the Finri Kazan. What's that one card? Whatever. A lot of weird stuff going on lore-wise here, but very cool. It is a normal spell card. You can only activate it once per turn. If your opponent has activated a monster effect this turn, so the same exact clause as Triple Tactic's talent, set one normal spell or trap directly from your deck, except for Triple Tactic itself. It cannot be activated this turn, or if your opponent controls a monster, you can add that card to your hand instead. Whoo! So very, very cool card here. This literally searches any normal spell or trap in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That is absolutely insane. Yeah, I mean, there's a million of applications here. Going second, baiting a negate, then using this to search either a power spell or trap that exists in your archetype that you want to get going second, or maybe even a board breaker. We've got Lightning Storm, we've got Mind Control, Harpy's Feather Duster, right? We have all these like crazy power spells. Now Artemis Slay even, right? Stuff like that. You could even search evenly matched off of this if you haven't gone battle phase, then evenly, which is interesting. But if you're playing against a trap deck, there has to be a trap, usually a trap strategy that's like also activating a monster effect to make this card live. So that's kind of like a weird one, but there definitely are some cool options there, some big impact cards. And I also love that you just search like an engine card. Like if you just play like, I don't know, some weird deck where you're playing like Dogmatica stuff and you didn't open the Nadir, but after you baited a negate, played through some interruptions, you just like, boom, search Nadir. And now, like, obviously Nadir is a good card going second because it searches you an in-engine card like Ecclesia while also sending something like Ntis to just also break apart some of your opponent's board. Very, very cool. Stuff like that. So any strategy that relies on like a normal spell that's like really high impact and branded fusion, for example, right? Bait all of like multiple interruptions from your opponent, then just hard search branded fusion and then just activate it. It's pretty cool. So all in all, I think this card's pretty interesting. I think we'll see people mess around with it, but I don't think it's universally great. I do think it's a really good generic card that a lot of people are going to want to get their hands on just because you want to have it when it is really good. But it is certainly one of those cards, kind of like Tactics, where it comes in and out of formats very frequently just because, well, maybe not very frequently. I think this one will be less frequent than Tactics, but the thing with Tactics is if Tactics is super, super popular, people will lean off hand traps or they'll play Imperm instead of Veiler and rely on non-monster cards that are going to make cards like this live. I mean, imagine ashing somebody on, one of their best cards and then they just go like this, search the same card they were going to search with that effect anyway, right? Really, really powerful. You ash in a Luber, right? And then they just go like activate this, search branded fusion. You're just kind of like, whoops, whoopsie. But to be fair, they would have to set it in that instance because you wouldn't control a monster. So I don't know. It's a weird card. There are ways for it to be insanely good and like just straight up win duels. And there are also ways where it's like almost useless. We've seen people go first with Tactics. If you don't get hand trapped and your opponent's playing board breakers, this card could literally be inactivatable like almost the entire duel, or at least too late in the duel where it's already too late and your opponent's already established too much. No matter what you search, they've got a negate for it. They don't care, which is crazy. So I don't know. It's an interesting card. I'm definitely going to try and pick it up for myself. But it's a weird one. It is too... I don't like cards that are always too contingent on what the opponent is doing. I like cards that are free. That's why I don't play Tactics in a lot of decks of mine. Very often at all. And we also still have stuff like Anti-Spell Fragrance and Eradicator, Epidemic Virus, cards that are designed to just blow out spell-heavy decks. This card does no help in fighting against those. So I don't know. The payoff can be crazy. I'm sure we will see. What I think we're going to see more often than not is we're going to see, not that this card is widely played in every single deck. like all over the place. Like, oh, it's a format staple right now, no matter what the format is, unless like literally the best deck has to use monster effects both turns. Like that's how it works. And to be fair, like Tier's kind of like that. Like Tier is activating stuff on your turn, Tier's activating stuff on their turn every time. So it's, you know, and they also don't set up a ton of negates. So like right now could almost be looked at as an example of like a way this card could be okay. But I still think it'll be one of those things where it will almost never be a format staple, but it's going to be one of those things where like if people aren't ready for it, people aren't expecting it, it can be a really good maybe meta call, maybe side deck card, maybe main deck card, depending on a very specific meta and specific duelists like pretty much seeing what that meta is and trying to like jump on a trend before it's too good. Because like I said with talents, as soon as people learn that this card is like, oh, this is a really spicy tech, this guy got first place at a YCS playing 3 of this in his main deck, and everybody starts like kind of easing off of hand traps a little bit, this card becomes really, really much, well, not bad, but much worse. And its application will be much less frequent. So yeah, I think it's a cool card overall. Very curious to see what kind of like decks will try and play this, because like I said, I really think this will favor decks that have inherent normal spells and traps for their engine that you can get off of this, on top of like just generic good, you know, normal traps and generic good normal power spells. To you know, just have that extra versatility, right? So yeah, it's cool. I'm excited for this. I think it's cool. It's a nice addition. This set so far has not really had a lot of generic bomb cards, as I would call it. I mean, at least in the, you know, the set prior to this one, Darkwing Blast, which we're about to get, we've got the new trap card that just got revealed. That's like a generic bomb trap card, I would say. We've got you know, multiple link monsters, whether it's Sprin sending any level 2 monster, whether it's Zelantis, right, which maybe not be amazing out the gate, but it's something we look at and we're like, this is gonna be crazy one day. Muckracker, if a new you know, Fiend deck or just Fiend decks in general get like a boost down the line, like that could just be a very integral part of a really good Fiend deck. There's multiple different bomb cards that could be format warping for sure, because they just have like that generic application. So I like the integration of this card into the set. Hopefully in the final, I think we have like 28-ish cards left. Hopefully we'll see 1 or 2 more bomb cards, because this one's fine, but I don't think it's like amazing. I think it's good. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that though. I've said enough. I've rambled enough about one card. But that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on all things Yu-Gi-Oh! News. We have the final Darkwing Blast reveals coming up probably tomorrow or the day after. No, I guess it'd probably be tomorrow. I think it's going to be tomorrow. Then we're going to have these Photon Hypernova reveals. We are now less than 10 days before the actual release of the set in the OCG. Still 28 more cards to be revealed. We're going to have a ton of stuff there. And then I also think we're getting pretty close to like the Trap Trick Structure deck first reveals, which I'm very excited about personally. So cannot wait to bring you that as soon as any of that stuff drops. So stay tuned, stay subscribed. Let me know your thoughts down below on this card as well. I think it's cool, but I want to know your guys' thoughts overall. Is there any specific interactions you think could be kind of crazy? I'd like to hear your thoughts, but that's it for me here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.